Bam! Mr. Taru, your crazy-haired woodworker and math teacher here. Not really giving an instructional video here, but just wanting to drop an idea of how you can keep your eyes open and save things from going into the landfill. As we're driving down the road, my wife is constantly telling me to stop the car. She sees something, a little treasure that needs to be saved. We have here a 2-bin stainless steel sink. We have just a small portion of some 2x4. You can see it's kind of all green and brown and got a little bit of mold on it here. That used to be horizontal structure for some fencing. We've got wood that was not actually going to the landfill, but was going to just simply be burned from some pallets. We've got the sort of underneath structure, the joists, if you will, of some pallets, and a combination of wood that came from the top of pallets and fencing. What did we do with this? Well, we're not done, but we are in the process of making, well, a potting table. And when it's not going to be used for a potting table, it's also going to be used for an entertainment table where you can plug up the holes of the sink and fill it with ice and any kind of refreshments that you would like to enjoy. And when you want to turn this old moldy wood or rough sawn lumber into something smooth and free of splinters that you'll be proud to show your friends, you're going to want to use a belt sander. My wife found this belt sander at an estate sale for
$15.
$15. Are you crazy? Look at this old Craftsman belt sander. It kicks butt. You get some 60 grit sandpaper on that thing, and it is going to cut your sanding time down to a fraction. And I got a lot of muck on there because some of that wood was pressure treated. Of course, you're going to need a square, a drill, or an impact driver if you got it. Reciprocating saw. Now this is I just bought this one. It's a not super inexpensive one. And a circular saw. Now you can get a little bit fancier. You can use a chop saw. You can use any multitudes of tools that you have at your disposal. But really, to make something like this, which again isn't completely done. This is just dry fitted together for the video. But to turn that trash into a treasure, you just need a lot of time, some patience, creativity, and really some very basic hand tools. With that 60 grit sandpaper, you can turn that incredibly rough wood into a nice smooth surface that still has some detail. You can see the saw marks here. Here is the 2x4, which was covered in mold and green muck, which again, we're not trying to take this down to pure virgin wood. We'd like to have a table here that's still got some character to it. Again, this wood that is more likely, I'm sure, pine, that was the top of a pallet. We could get the length long enough on them by cutting them off of with the reciprocating saw and then doing some sanding. We have a table that is made up of basically everything garbage going to the landfill. Pallet wood going to the landfill. This is 4x4 pressure treated fencing that, yeah, it was rotten on the bottom where it was in the ground, but you cut off the rot and here we are making a 38 inch tall potting table, again, with wood that was discarded as trash. Now I'll take some pictures when we're done, but this is a rough mock-up of what we're talking about. We have a 33 inch long sink. We're going to have basically just under 2 feet of workspace here on the right. Look at the color in that wood, it's beautiful. We've got a table which is 57 inches long. The frame is 24 inches deep. It is going to be about 38 or just a hair under 38 inches tall to be a nice working height for the friend that we're making this table for, so she doesn't have to lean over while she's working. And the shelf at the bottom is about 16 to 17 inches from the base. So this is a nice look. You can see here where I cleaned up and squared off the supports of the pallet, so we left a little bit of the shape in there of the pallet, so you can see that this is all recycled wood, and nailed it together with a nail gun. I mean, this is an awesome piece of furniture in my mind that you know, just with some time, it is not time efficient to use old, really rough cut sawn lumber takes a lot of sanding and prep to get something nice out of it. But when you're done, you realize just with a um, day or two during the weekend, using up some sandpaper, you can have a really nice product to make, a piece of furniture to make for your yard, or the interior of your home. This, of course, is going to be outside in the yard. So there you go. We'll have some finished product. But again, just a reminder that we don't need to throw everything into the landfill. A lot of what we dispose of is still useful and has a lot of life to it. Now, with this table being made of wood, that some of which is pressure treated, some of which is just heat treated, we are definitely going to need to put a sealer on this wood. And my wife is letting me know to remind you that the pallets, some of the pallets we found by the side of the road, the fence wood we found by the side of the road, but there's a lot of small businesses in your area that are going to have pallets that they don't have a regular recycling process and they're just trying to get rid of. So, maybe.
But ask them first.
But yeah, you definitely want to ask them first, but you may look into like tile shops, flooring shops. We have a place local that builds and sells cabinetry, and a bookbindery place, all of which are happy to get rid of their pallets when we find time to use them and a use for them. And that will be the same for you.